Did you know a smile is the same in all languages, including the language of medical terminology? So before we begin, be sure to smile today. It looks really good on you. Okay, congrats. You just watched our prefix video, did some practice questions in our prefixes round 1 and 2, and probably watched root words part 1. Hang on to all the tricks you learned in those lessons. And if you missed these videos, tap on these links in the caption below, especially part 1 of root words. So you're not playing around, you really are taking this seriously, and I promise, you will see a difference in how much smarter you are after this Medical Terminology and Lingo series. Okay, let's recap. Medical terms have a beginning, middle, and an end to their story. Prefix is the descriptive part, root words, which we're discussing here, is the subject of the word, and the suffix is the condition of the word. You got it? Now root words, a lot of them are ending in a combining vowel like the letter O. Other vowels may also be used. Root words may star as the beginning of the show, or they can be found in the middle. They can combine with another root word in a series, or with the suffix. Okay, I'm really rooting for you to stick through this lesson. Don't let me down. Let's do this. Lympho means lymph, and neuro means nerve. We love our neuron, which is the fundamental unit of our brain and nervous system. And hemo refers to blood. Hematology. Hematoma, which is a bruise. This causes blood to collect and pool under the skin. Thrombo is blood clot, as in thrombosis, a blood clot within blood vessels that limits the flow of blood. Aorto is simply the large bad boy, the aorta. Root words arterio and angio is referring to your arteries. We have the examples in arteriosclerosis, which is using another root word we'll discuss in a bit. Sclere means thickening or hardening. So together with the suffix osis, meaning condition and process, arteriosclerosis is the thickening or hardening of the walls of the arteries. Angiography is a great word to use as an example, as this is the process of taking a picture of blood vessels using radiographic dye to visualize the intense vasculature. Veno and vena, which means venous. Think of the venous return to the heart by our two large veins, the superior and inferior vena cavas. Vascular refers to blood vessels. A good example of this is perivascular, and we know peri from our prefix lesson means around, so we know this to mean situated or occurring around a blood vessel. Varico means swollen or dilated vein. Recall varicose veins, which are twisted and enlarged veins. Steno is a root, meaning narrow or close. Our example is aortic stenosis, which occurs when the aortic valve narrows and blood cannot flow normally out the heart. Arachno means spider. Adeno refers to gland. For example, adenocarcinoma has the suffix oma that we'll learn in the next lesson to mean abnormal growth or tumor. And carcinal you'll also hear about soon to mean cancer or tumor. This is cancer that originates in the glands and typically found in tissues that line the internal organs. Cyto means cell. I like to think of cytoplasm for this one, the jelly-like substance of the cell. Histo and histio mean tissue. It's histology, the study of microstructures of tissues. Chondro means cartilage. Know about chondroblasts, which uses the root word blast, meaning immature. We'll learn this in just a bit. Chondroblast is an immature cartilage cell that plays a role in the formation of cartilage. Arthro and articulo mean joint. Don't confuse this with arterio, which we learned earlier to mean arteries. Let's see the example in osteoarthritis. We have the suffix itis, so we know inflammation. And coming up next, we also have the root word osteo, which means bone. So osteoarthritis is a degenerative joint disease in which the tissues in the bony joint break down over time, causing inflammation of the joint lining. Awesome, so now you know osteo, which means bone, and you can think of the pores in osteoporosis, which means the weak and brittle bone. The root skelet means skeletal or bone. The roots musculo, myo, and sarco all mean muscle. We have musculoskeletal joining the previous root word and relates to the musculature and skeleton together. So let's take a look now at the skeletal muscle breakdown. Notice all the root words and even some prefixes. Osteo, bone, has our skeletal muscle, which unravels into a muscle fascicle and into a muscle fiber. Notice the prefixes, right? The muscle fiber is surrounded by the sarcoplasmic reticulum, which is the ER of the muscle cells. And the muscle fiber contains myofibrils, which are muscle organelles comprised of sarcomeres, the smallest unit of muscle tissue, which are aligned in a series. Now don't forget about the sarcolemma here, which is the membrane. And then we finally have myosin, as it is found walking with its buddy actin in muscle contraction. So pause and notice all these medical terms and lingo. It'll really help you when studying. Also for myo, I like myocardium, which is a muscular tissue of the heart. Next we have tono, which means tension or tone. Example is tonus, a state of partial contraction characteristic of normal muscle. Adipo is fat or fatty tissue. Adipose tissue is the connective tissue consisting of lipid-rich fat cells. Psych refers to the mind. Think psychology. Sinus is sinuses, and sinusitis just means inflammation of the sinuses. Patho refers to disease. Pathology is the study of disease. Isn't it funny how Dr. Hossein Sattar uses the title pathoma, which we just learned path means disease, and he adds the suffix oma meaning tumor or abnormal growth. We honestly just love it. Peace and lots of blessings to him, especially for his creativity and the commitment he has for pathology and medicine. Thank you. Now bacterial just means bacteria, and myco is for fungus. The example mycosis is a disease caused by infection with the fungus. Blasto, as we said earlier, means immature or bud, and blastoma is, like we said, suffix oma, a cancer that affects a type of stem cell. If you're crying right now from coldness of these connections we're making, you better pump in some calories because we're raising the thermostat to heat up for some more root words coming up. Cryo means cold. Calorai means heat. Thermo also means heat. Thermometer, right? Auto refers to self or same. Think of driving an autopilot. Brachy is for short. Brachycephaly is an infant skull deformity with a lower than normal skull size. Remember in the prefix practice round 1 video, we broke down macrocephaly? Find the link to these practice videos below. They're pretty fun. Chemo refers to chemical. It's chemotherapy for cancer. Toxi or toxico means toxic or poison. Example is your ex. Believe me, they're toxic, bro. Completely poisonous if you ask me. Chyme is a root word for juice or fluid. Litho and calc refer to stone or calculus. You'll see these roots a lot, especially in the example cholelithiasis, as we know are gallstones. Andri and estro, think male and female. Androgen is the male sex hormone, and estrogen is the female sex hormone. Gyno actually refers to female as well. You know those people that use the word females instead of women or ladies? Yeah, tell them to use gyno instead. It'll be pretty funny. Hydro is what's happening to you right now, thinking this video is so much to remember and so much to know. How will I ever pass and know all of this? Believe me, you will. It takes repetition, resiliency, and time. Just keep at it and keep watching this stuff over and over. Hydro just means sweat, by the way. Think hyperhidrosis, which means excessive sweating. It also has the word hydro in it to remind you of watery, sweaty. Gluco means glucose. Glyco means sugar. Think of glycolysis, the breakdown of sugar or glucose. Topo refers to place or position. Topography is the arrangement of physical features of an area. Allo refers to different, a different human. You must be a different human if all you do is wear workout clothing, even while watching this video. Or you might be xeno, which means different as well, but also foreign or alien. Cord is for string. Think of the heart with this chordae tendineae that are strong fibrous connections between the valve leaflets and the papillary muscles. And these are your heartstrings that people love pulling on. Choano refers to funnel. Onco refers to cancer, tumor, or mass. We have our oncogene. I hope you don't have mutated ones, but technically we all have photo-oncogenes in our body and they're necessary for survival. An oncogene is a gene which in certain circumstances can transform a cell into a tumor cell. Carcinoma, which we also covered earlier, refers to cancer or tumor as well. You know those messages on cigarette packs for carcinogens? There are substances that are capable of causing cancer. Don't smoke, guys. Astheny is weakness. The root alter is for change. Aspero refers to the process of inhalation. Aux means to grow or enlarge. Anomalo is abnormal or irregular. Baro is for weight or pressure. Lyo is to loosen and dissolve. Radio is radiation. Think radiology, the branch of medicine that uses imaging technology to diagnose and treat disease. Sclere, as we said earlier, means hardening or thickening. The disease scleroderma is a great word to describe an autoimmune disease that causes inflammation and fibrosis, the thickening, in the skin, derma. and other areas of the body. Schisto is for fissure and split. For example, schistocyte is a fragmented part of a red blood cell. Schizo means split as well, or division. Now moving on to neck and thoracic region specific root words. Serve, thoraco, and stetho, you've seen before, mean neck and chest. Thyro is for thyroid. Root word tracheo is for the trachea. Esophago refers to the esophagus. Laryngo, larynx. Thymo, thymus. Masto and mammo are both for mammary gland, breast. You know mammo in terms of mammogram, in which an x-ray of the breast is taken. Cardio means those heart love letter doctors, field of cardiology. Also, for example, cardiomyopathy is a chronic disease, pathy, of the heart muscle, myo. Pulmo and pneumo both mean lungs. Like a pulmonologist, a physician specializing in lungs. And pneumonia, as you know, is an infection that affects one or both of the lungs. It causes the air sacs or the alveoli of the lungs to fill up with fluid or pus. Bronch also has to do with lungs, in specific the bronchi or the bronchial tree that's growing inside your lungs to facilitate for breathing. So bronchitis is an inflammation-itis of the bronchi caused by a virus. Moving on to the abdominal region, we have words we've seen, abdominal and laparo for abdomen, but now we have the root words gastro, which means stomach. For example, gastroenterologist is a physician that deals with root gastro for stomach and entero for intestines, and basically deals with disorders and diseases of the digestive system. Duodeno or duodenal refers to the duodenum. Hepato refers to the liver. So remember our prefix megalo for large. Mega is used here again for hepatomegaly, which is an abnormal enlargement of the liver. Cyst is for bladder. Coli is for gall or bile. And combining these words, cholecysto is the root word referring to gallbladder. An example here would be cholecystectomy. It's a surgical removal of the gallbladder. Spleno is for spleen, and it's a similar example, splenomegaly. The suffix mega is an abnormal enlargement of the spleen. Pancreato is pancreas. Adreno is for the adrenal gland. Nephro refers to the kidney, because we know nephron is the functional unit of the kidney, like neuron was to neuro. But look, reno also refers to kidney. Colo, we probably spoke about it in one of these lessons. It refers to colon, or large intestine. A common procedure we know is the colonoscopy, which is to plug a scope into the colon to check the inside of the large intestine. Sigmoidal refers to curved, like an S. Think sigmoid colon. Entero refers to intestines, and what can enter in there are enterovirus that are transmitted through the intestines. Think enterocolitis also. You can break down this word yourself in the comments, because now you know it. Umbilical is for umbilicus, think umbilical cord, and costo is for the ribs. Costochondritis is a great word to test what we already know. Costo, ribs, chondro for cartilage, and itis for inflammation. Therefore, this is an inflammation of the cartilage of the rib cage or even chest wall. Lastly, we have intestinal, and that's for intestine. And that's it. You're still smiling because you're almost there in really knowing the language of medicine. Everything will get easier. Next up for you is some root word practice rounds, and after that, you'll head over to the suffix lesson. Now for awareness sake, can someone please type below at what age should you go for a colonoscopy and at what age should you go for a mammogram? Comment below. If you'd like to see more of this lesson, head over to our Instagram page and TikTok channel at rev.med. We'll have this lesson along with many other topics for you to study. By the way, don't forget to do questions. Are you learning something from our videos? Well then click the subscribe button to your right. We are releasing high-yield lessons and ways for you to get ahead in class. Be sure to follow us on Instagram to take interactive quizzes and view your favorite diagrams. Nothing can stop you, but only if you believe in yourself. You got this.